I don't know if this camera angle is gonna work, but we'll give it a go anyway. I don't know if this looks like an E major chord. Basically we're leaving out the two highest strings. Just so this one is the highest note. We're using the 4 strings. And then we're leaving off the second string and just using the 2 upper notes of the E major chord, the top one and the one right next to it, and we're just sliding those ones up. But this one goes up 1 fret, but then there's a space between them, so that this second string here slides up 2 frets. And then what happens is that the index finger and the 4th finger kind of, the index finger takes over for the 4th finger, so that the 4th finger can then reach up here on the string above it. And then we're back to E major. And then the little part in between is like, I think it's a G chord. And then 2 frets above that, which is some sort of weird A chord. And an A chord will bring us back to home base, which is E major for this song. So so there's a different way to play this, that because that part repeats, you can use the alternative way to play it on the actual repeat itself. Instead of climbing up here like this, you can actually stay in the position you were just in. So that'll happen on the 3rd chord. So here's the 1st chord, E major. We're just pressing down these 2 middle strings here. But if you bar off with your index finger the upper 2 strings here that we weren't using before, you're actually getting these same notes that we would have done for this chord up here. And in order to get this, since we're still here, that happens right here. So it's like you're forming a D chord. Remember D major? So I like to do that on the second time around, so it goes like. You might actually like to do that for both times, just because you're letting the upper strings ring out more. It kind of resonates nicer than doing it up here. So then onto the second part, which is the part where the one of the guitars goes like this. And then the chords that are going over that is something like. So we're doing kind of, it's just kind of back and forth between E major and D major. So these chords will be a little bit difficult to slam down, but if you were to take a look at the A major shape, right? Everybody knows A major. It's those three guys all in a row on these strings here. If we were playing the same shape, we get these three same formation, but up here, up on this fret here, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 9th fret, you can add the index finger on the uppermost string, on the high E string, 2 frets down from this cluster. So you've got all the guys in a row here, and then the index finger. So this is probably also a familiar shape. So bringing that down 2 frets is a whole step down to D major. And then a difficult thing is to swing all the way up here to do the. The one thing that'll help you is if you stay grounded, because I like to form the chords where your one finger only has to slide without switching strings. So if you have a formation where your pinky is on the top of the cluster, your ring finger is down next to it, and then your third finger is snug over the top of it, you might rearrange those. Some people I see switch these 2 fingers up when they're playing an A kind of chord, just so it fits better between the frets. But if you play it just 5, 4, 3, and then 1 up here, keeping that same shape, your ring finger will slide you all the way in to get into position while the other fingers switch accordingly. Because now instead of your index finger, the lone guy up here, he's going to play alongside this guy up here. And you can leave out the pinky's duty on this fret until you get the hang of it. In fact, you can even do this as a 3-note chord instead of pressing down 4 notes at a time. You could just stick with 3 strings until you're ready to add the string that's deeper in there. So this chord is just another form of D, but it's these 2 together, and then 1 fret down from them is where the 3rd string is. And then the pinky is reaching this one, which that'll be a hard stretch for some, because the pinky has to go clean halfway across the fretboard. So ring finger will slide up. That'll keep your fingers close to where they'll need to be. And then this whole formation will slide down about like 5 frets. Na, 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 na. And this here is just a D chord kind of formation, but remember D is right here. So if we bring the whole D chord da, up 2 frets, that's E. And of course, that's what we use here because that's home base for us. Sliding up there. So let's see if we do that a little faster. And while that's going on, we have this chord here. This cluster here, we can just slap our whole finger down on it, like instead of doing the A chord with three individual fingers. What if you were just to put like a bar there with one finger? You get the same thing. So that's essentially what we're doing here with the other guitars part. Ba 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 da 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 da. So we have this is a little bit tricky now because we're not just strumming. We have to pick this part. So we're starting from the bottom of that cluster and bum 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 going up it. But since this top note of the cluster changes the note there, it's almost like a hammer-on, but you have to plug that one twice. So it's you slide down that bar chord just as we were doing with the chords that we learned. Were you having that same thing? Na 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 na. But when we slide down, na 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 na. Instead of doing it just one fret up like here, da 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 da, it's doing 2 frets, only down here. Ba da 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 da. And then we're keeping it there. I think we are. Oh yeah, that's how we do it. We're actually going to use the very topmost high E string for the first time in this. So right now we were just using the inner strings closest to the top without the high E string. See this stretch here? Na, 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 na. We're moving this guy one up here. Na, na, na. And then we hit the high E string. Na, 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 na. And the E string is that note here because right here we're pressing down on it. Whereas on the other times we were actually pressing down on it also, but we weren't making use of it. So it's like na 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 ba da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. That'll take some practice because that last time is different from the others. Whereas, remember I told you play this string twice. Na 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 na. Or even 3 times there. Na 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 na. That way we're all going up. That will this one da na 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 has no repetition on the same string, so that's a little difference there. But you'll get used to that. And then, so that's the second part of the song. So we've learned this part. Just a regular E major chord. Sliding up and ditching this one here. Having a gap in between these 2 frets. And then keeping the bar across. Or and then we'll do the G thing. sliding up from the G thing up to make a kind of weird A chord. And then we're into the part where we have like the solo of it, because then the next part is, as I played in the video, so this couldn't be simpler. We're doing the same chords. That we learned for that section, only it's you're just going up half steps up to E again. So here's our E chord, but we're starting down on C, right? So we're keeping the same shape and we're sliding down 2 frets and then 2 frets again, so that we're on what kind of looks to be like an A formation again, but it's just up here. A is over here, but we're up here, so we're in C. Sliding up 2 frets, sliding up 2 frets again. Notice how we hang on that middle chord. It seems like there should be a change there. So I tracked it down on the piano, and actually what I want to do, instead of starting on a C major, is go to its relative key, which is A minor. So to have an A minor, we have the A major chord. That's all the cluster that I've been talking about all this time. But if we lower that up string, the most upper string of that chord, we get the minor third, which makes it a minor chord. Everybody knows A minor, right? It looks like C major, E major, but it's up here on these strings. But the thing is, with this chord, I want to add the pinky's job is to always be 1 fret higher than the actual chord that we're used to. So remember, we got this going. Instead, let's start down here on A minor. I think what this is doing is making it A minor 7. Right? So it's the same solo, but we're adding more interesting chords to it. But we're keeping this thing at the very last for the last 3 chords. So A minor is now from A minor 7. This is just a regular D major. And remember, A minor 7 is this shape? Well, we're going to form that again, only up here, for what I think is a B minor 7. And this is what looks like our D that we did thing. So it's just this shape, A minor 7 to D, and we're repeating the same exact thing, only 2 frets up. Whoops. And now we're ready to go into that. So the solo, I think I started on the B string. I can't play it so good, but because the fingernails are too long. So we're introducing now the highest E string, which is right across from where we just left off. So this is a very easy jump. All on one string. This is easy. Since it's all in a nice 2 fret or 3 fret block. Do, 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 do. A proper guitarist could probably make it sound like more guitar-y and professional and better than that, because it's kind of it's a lot like too much picking, and like no bends. So he'd probably something like that. So again, that's A minor 7 to D, B minor 7 to the C, then we go to the E, I mean, because this is the C, this is the D, and then we're back to E. And then it goes back to the beginning, right? And then it has that weird, well, after it gets done with... it goes to that weird funky part. So this couldn't be easier, because there's like a famous Jimi Hendrix chord that everybody learns, which is you have the open E string, right? You're making kind of a triangle here, bum, 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 where you have the third finger here, one above it as your index finger, and on the same line as the first finger there is the ring finger will be on, and then the pinky will be on that one fret above that. So we're covering 3 frets here, but these two are on the same level here. Instead of doing this, I'm putting the pinky up here. So instead, we have to form the triangle again, but have the index finger take care of that off position. And you'll easily be able to find this chord because of how well it works with the open E string. And that's exactly all it is. It's just keeping this shape, and the pinky is on the same line here, just one string, skipping one string, because that's this guy's job here. So I'm on the we're using 4 fingers here, and I'm leaving the extreme E's, both E strings just open. And you can slide down 1 fret or 2 frets. But I guess I settled on just doing a half fret thing, and it's just keeping the same shape, sliding back and forth. And we're sliding all the way down, keeping this triangle here which goes down as far as it can go, which doesn't leave any room for my index finger to be on the strings here, so that's open as well. And then when we go high, it's same shape. So when we have that build up, this way up here is the equivalent of going down. So we're ready to return to that triumphant ending solo part. So really, this song has just that first section. Then it has the fun second section. And then it has the ending. And so you just play that twice. But on the second time around, when you finish off that first section again, and you finish off that second section again, right before you go into the third ending, that's when you kind of bridge off to do that. So that's adding a little something we've never heard before right before the ending of the song. And people call it the bridge of the song, but it's just how it works together in this song. So yeah, I think it covers everything. There's probably an easier way to play this part because I do it with with 2 frets in between. Ba, 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 ba. We're just keeping a box. Ba, 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 ba. This one kind of comes in off the top of our box, down 1 fret. Ba, 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 ba. If you didn't involve this string, then it would probably be something more like. Or maybe if you do involve it, you could find a different place on the neck to play that part. That's even harder. But yeah, it's not that you have to stick with where I've plotted it out in the video. So ba da 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 da. And then you can slide this all the way down. And then you're in for the big wind-up. But I like it that if you end, you're already down at the bottom of the neck to ready to go into the finale. So we come out of our triangle here, Jimi Hendrix kind of chord, to going into our A minor 7. D, B minor 7th, choose E, C, D, E. So on a piano,